Good morning, I'm Angelica Cruz, and this presentation is going to be on the health of our ocean. More specifically, to what extent has America's plastic waste levels affected the Atlantic Eastern seaboard in the past decade? Now, this graph here shows the top 12 countries polluting the ocean the most. Now, China's at the top with 8.8 million tons of plastic being misused every year. At the bottom is the United States, while the United States is at the bottom of the list with less than 1 million. Now, however, this does not mean our country's impact does not have as much of an impact as China, because here is a map of the two Atlantic gyres. Now, a gyre are whirlpools of water that carry and trap collections of waste into the currents. Now, the problem is that the east coast of the U.S. is located directly next to the gyre. Now, because of this, much of the waste that we produce gets swept up in the gyre. Large amounts of our country's waste gets taken through the rotation, and then after it goes through, after it goes through the rotation, it all ends up here, thus accumulating and creating the North Atlantic garbage patch. Now, all this waste has accumulated, and it is a floating island of man-made debris. Now, the density is over 200 pieces of debris per square kilometer, and it is equivalent to the distance from Cuba and Maryland. The large accumulation in this area has caused a great population of microplastics. These are small pieces of plastic that occur as a result of plastic pollution. This shows what the microplastics look like in the large garbage patch area due to its large accumulation. They come from a number of different things like cosmetics and synthetic clothing, and they are non-biodegradable and easily pass through filtration, making getting rid of them nearly impossible. The consequence of this is microplastics are commonly eaten by marine animals as they are being mistaken for food. The toxic chemicals in these have been known to cause many different damages to the marine life. They can result in neurological and reproductive toxicity, and they have been found to link to cancer and weakened immune system in the fish. Now, because of this, it climbs up the food chain. As you can see here, this is a graph showing the cycle of microplastics in the ocean. You have it first being discarded into the ocean, and then being eaten by smaller fish, which are then eaten by larger fish, and can even possibly be consumed by humans through fishing. And now the larger pieces of the plastic in the area are entangling and strangling these animals. According to the stimulus source of the Ocean's Health Index, of the 120 marine mammals on the red list, 54 of the species are known to become entangled and intertwined from these plastics. Now, opposing argument. While plastic pollution is obviously affecting the ecosystem, without more research, the impact it is having is unknown. People argue that there is not enough sufficient evidence to clearly form a definite factor causing the harm. Now, there is a wide variety of studies to conclude the impact the large buildup is having. One example is from the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. They conducted a study on how dangerous the plastic pollution is and found that 100,000 marine animals are killed annually due to plastic pollution. Now, a possible solution. We must first reduce our plastic dependency. Our country has a very high volume of single-use plastics, and in order to better combat the great garbage patch, we must first find plastic alternatives. The problem with this, however, is that these plastics are cheap and lightweight, making this company's first option. So in order to find the solution, the companies must be okay with spending much more money on them. For example, switching from plastic bottles to glass containers requires 40% more energy, not including the production value. Because of this, in order to get rid of the garbage patch, we must first the companies must first be the countries must first the companies must first be okay spending a much higher rate for the production. That's it. What questions do you have?
All right, 2 questions I have here. First up, what evidence did you gather that you didn't use, and then why didn't you use it?
Evidence on the microplastics. I found a peer-reviewed journal which went in depth on the chemicals in them, and I found that the microplastics did not need that much of an in-depth view, and it didn't need to show what chemicals make them up, as it wasn't relevant to the topic.
Okay, and what advice would you have for other researchers who consider this topic?
Advice I would have would be to make sure to look specifically at one area, as when you look up the gyres and the garbage patches, most of the evidence is for them as a whole or the bigger Great Pacific one, and so you must be careful to look at evidence for the area you're looking at.